So welcome to class. You can stay on the floor, lying down if you're already there. Thank you so much for being here. And we've got a 75-minute class today, nice long amount of time to move through a flow. And my plan for this class is to start in relaxation. We'll do some gentle movement to check in with the body, how we're feeling. We're going to move through some breath practices, which we'll probably do seated, and then we'll come up to stand and do a bit of mobility. The focus on this class, because it's technically 60 plus, the focus is on maintaining mobility and also strengthening the ankles, the legs, for good balance, good posture, and then also calming the mind. We've had a bit of a chat about that this morning already. We can have the chitta vritti, the chatter in the mind, which can be very critical sometimes and unhelpful. So we're going to tune in a little bit to where does the mind go, and can we bring the mind into the body more? Can we focus more on the sensations in the body so that we forget to worry about things, maybe just for 5 seconds. So coming to relax, if you're already there, you can stay still. If you want to shuffle about a little bit, and we'll come to constructive rest. So that's where we've got our feet on the floor with a bend in the knees, and you can have a little play. Maybe your feet are a little bit further forward of the knees and out to the side. Maybe the heels are under the knees. The main thing, as you get your shoulder blades together and relax your arms, the main thing is just that you feel very comfortable here. So your head is supported, your shoulders can relax. And take a few moments just to soften the skin of the eyes and the forehead. And perhaps just a little release of the jaw and relax the tongue. And feel your throat, your chest and your shoulders relax. There's a sense of releasing down your arms to your hands and your fingers. And bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. Maybe give a little wiggle of the toes and feel that connection of the soles of your feet to the mat. You might still have your socks on, that's absolutely fine. And then once you've just established that your body is as relaxed as it can be in this moment, bring your attention to the belly and the chest moving with the breath. Start to take a couple of slower, deeper breaths in, but keeping everything quite relaxed, so just the muscles that you use to breathe move. And as you exhale, come back to that idea of everything softening and relaxing. And the next time you take a deeper breath in, feel the ribs expand to the side, the belly rise. Just pause at the top, hold the breath at the top just for a couple of seconds, and then let the breath out. At the end of your exhale, lift through your pelvic floor muscles and hold again for a couple of seconds. And then relax everywhere, relax the belly, and allow that inhale to come in. We'll keep going with this, it's quite simple. Holding just at the top of the inhale, relaxing again everything down on as you exhale. At the end of the exhale, hold and just lift up through Mula Bandha, so around the perineum, the pelvic floor, sense of gathering in and up, that group of muscles drawing in, and then relaxing again as you inhale. Holding at the top. Exhale, relax. Draw in and up through pelvic floor at the end of your exhale. And then release and breathe in again. So this might be a little challenging, that's why we call it yoga practice. Give it another couple of goes, and if you've got it, maybe you'll naturally be able to hold for a bit longer and take slower, deeper breaths. Maybe, maybe not. Going to do the last round, and perhaps you've noticed that your breath is a little longer. And whenever you've had enough, start to bring the feet to the edges of the mat. Let your knees knock into the midline, and then stretch your arms overhead. So have a big stretch out, maybe a yawn comes in, maybe you circle your wrists, move your fingers. And then as you can, bring your arms out to the side. So whenever we do these things, we just check, do the shoulders feel comfortable? Can you reach your arms out in line with your shoulders? And then slowly let your knees move from side to side, moving onto the sides of the feet, nice and slow. Scanning down your body, how's it feeling today? How are the ankles, the knees, the hips, your back? Maybe as you take your knees to one side, your head slowly turns to the other side. You might pause there for a breath. Bring the legs back to the center, slowly turn to the other side. Knees one way, head the other, gently twisting, pausing there. And then back to the center. Good. Lift your knees, hold your knees with the palms of your hands. See if you can draw the knees in towards you, and then making some circles, perhaps one leg and then the other, so that you move from your hips. At the same time, we're going to start to engage more of our awareness now. Circle your ankles and move your toes. So you're starting to get a little bit of a movement there. Circles, spirals, wiggly shapes. And then let the arms and legs float into the air. Watch your fingers and your toes as you circle your wrists and your ankles. Move quite slowly. And notice, yeah, we've got some clicks and cracks. It's winter. It's that time of year. And sometimes those clicks are making space in the joint. And what we're interested in here is getting fluid in the joints, so that when we come up and we start to weight bear, there's that cushioning, that sense of ease with our mobility. So now starting to make some cycling movements with your legs. So maybe lowering, flexing. Keep your hands in the air as if you're making a handprint on the ceiling. And if your wrists are tender, be gentle. You can always take the hands in a little movement like this, where you're moving the fingers away and then out. So I know I'm giving you lots of things to think about. Again, occupying the mind with sensation. And then relax your arms again and focus more on the legs. So that cycling movement might become a little bit more dynamic now as you extend the heels towards the floor and you start to use those tummy muscles. Yeah, lovely. And then slowly release the feet to the ground. Take around the right leg. So you might hold the back of the right leg. If you can interlace around the shin, you can hold that and squeeze the knee towards the shoulder. And then bring your left arm out to the side. So holding the right leg with the right hand, the left arm comes out. That's it. Breathe here, relax. As you exhale, use that right hand just to gently squeeze the leg in a little bit. And then let the leg float into the air. Both arms rest now. Right leg slowly lowers to the floor. At some point you'll have to lift those tummy muscles to keep your lower back flat down. And then whenever that leg lands, you might move slower than me, that's fine. Take the left leg out, bring the arms over your head, take a full body stretch now. So maybe point the toes, again perhaps a yawn comes in. Hold the breath at the top and maybe release with a big sigh. Yeah. Right foot on the floor, knee bent, left leg in the air, hold the back of the left leg. So if you feel quite cold, if your muscles are quite tight, you can give yourself a little massage here. And if you can bend the knee and interlace the shin, again you might squeeze the knee towards the shoulder. Good. And I'm always offering choice in this class because I want you to do what feels either the easiest if you're taking it easy today, or maybe the more challenging. And yoga can be many, many, many things, but the qualities we're interested in is a sense of steadiness, grounding, sense of safety, and then a sense of life and movement, pleasure and ease. So all of those things can come into each breath. Let the leg float, take the arms by your side, relax your shoulders. Push through the left heel, notice the thigh muscles engage. Start to lower that leg, take your time. If you want to make it more challenging, hover when the leg's about halfway down, zip up the core muscles, feel the lower back on the floor. And then whenever that leg lands, one more stretch with the arms over the head, take the reach and stretch and breathe and hold, and then breathe out with a sigh. Now we're going to bring both legs in. If you're feeling tired, just roll onto the side. We're going to come up to sit. If you've got a little bit more energy, you might roll forward and backward. Just be careful not to roll onto your neck. We're doing this if our spine feels really healthy today. Yeah, good. Good morning. So coming around, I'm going to use a cushion. So you should all have grey and pink cushion. I'm going to use a blanket and a block to sit on. So coming to bring yourself onto the block, and then I'm using this to cushion the ankles, yeah, so the floor's a bit hard. So if you don't love sitting cross-legged, it's absolutely fine. Can I bring you, oh, sorry love. Sorry, I thought I got everyone everything. If you don't like sitting cross-legged, take your legs out, use cushions to support your hips. Yeah, so you can, if you sit cross-legged, you can have a cushion here and here, so that you feel comfortable. The main thing is that the shoulders are above the hips, so that's what we're interested in. And we're going to do another little breath practice, but we're going to move the arms first. So as you're ready, lift the arms up, inhale. And we take the hands together, and as we exhale, bring them down to the center. Interlace the fingers. Push forwards and up on the inhale, and then like you're misting up a mirror, see if you can as you exhale, yeah. So we'll try it, as we do that again, that Ujjayi breath, we're going to see if we can slow that down, yeah, because it's quite easy for it all just to escape. So we'll give it a go. Inhale, lift up again. Exhale, hands to the center. Interlace again, push forwards and up. Take a big breath in. And then that Ujjayi breath as you exhale. Yeah, good. So to make it last longer, we use that Mula Bandha, yeah, we use that lifting of the navel. Inhale again. Let's do 2 more in a row. Exhale down. Forwards and up. And then with Ujjayi, if it works for you. Yeah, good. And last time. Inhale. Exhale. Forwards and up. If you're slower than me, that's great. And exhale. Yeah, good. Lovely. So just take the hands onto the shoulders. Just circle one elbow and then the other, finding some gentle movement in the shoulder. And then change direction. Let one arm go around and then the other. Yeah, good. And then just to be annoying, one goes one way and one goes the other way. So there we notice the overthinking there. We're like, what? So don't think about it, just move. Just move. You can go really slow, it can be really gentle. Yeah. So what we find when we go one way and the other is we're starting to get that little twist. We're starting to get a bit of a movement in the chest. Yeah, wonderful. And then if you've got your legs outstretched, you can leave them there. If you've got them crossed, let's just take them out, move the feet and then switch over. So bring the other leg in front. And it might feel a bit odd. So if you feel a little bit like discombobulated, support your joints with a cushion. Yeah, that's it. Again, we want the shoulders over the hips. And now we're coming to some slightly deeper stretches. So lift the arms up again. This time, as you interlace your fingers, push the palms out in front of you. And then make some circles. Yeah. So going around, inhale to the top of the circle. Exhale round to the bottom. Yeah, lovely. And move as slow as your breath moves. And then we're going to change direction. So perhaps you're moving just from your shoulders. Perhaps you're moving your whole body. So Linda, if you want to change the grip, that's fine.
No, it's just a bit cramped.
Oh, okay, yeah, good. Some people are like, no, that leg does not work that way. I want to move it. Again, your body, your choice, yeah, always. Lovely. So come back to the centre, just take your arms out now. If you feel tired, take a rest, yeah? It's a bit much. Everyone's like, I feel tired, Bridie. It's November. This is too strong already. So just, we give ourselves that rest. Let's rest. Take a breath. Completely relax as you exhale. Good. And then we'll come back in. So, hands out to the side. One hand faces back, one hand faces forward. Again, don't overthink it. Yeah. Good. And then come back. Do you know what? Actually, you can. So let's just turn around one way and then the other, like you're wringing out a towel. So literally turn and then turn. Yeah, good. And it can be just the hands, or the movement can start to travel up the arms. Yeah, lovely. So the overthinking piece, just as we stay with this, and remember, if it gets too strong, come down and rest. But the overthinking, they're like, what's my right leg? What's my left? Like, it's okay to get a little bit kind of worked up about that, because you can change it. It's a little thing. Yeah. So we're like, what's my right hand? What's my left? Nothing bad will happen if you do the left side. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, lovely. So let's lift up again. We feel a bit of sensation there in the shoulders. Exhale down. We're going to keep the hands at the heart center. And we're going to find today your seed intention, which is going to be a statement that you're choosing that begins with either I am or I have. So it's a positive statement in the present tense, and the gap, the I am, the third word you're choosing for yourself. So it might be patience, love, power, kindness, light, strength. Perhaps it's something that you're aiming to cultivate. Perhaps it's something that you feel like you want to invite more of in your life. And if you can't think of anything, I am love, I am here is enough, or simply I am. Once you've got your seed intention, Svabhava Mudra, so place the right hand on the chest or the heart and the left hand over the top. And then link the thumbs, feel the rise and fall of the breath. Repeat the phrase 3 times. And then gently bow the chin to the chest and start to walk the hands forward. So allow this to be either a deep stretch where you inhale and then lean forward. You might feel it around the outside, or just let it be the head relaxing and the belly relaxing. Rolling back up when you've had enough. And we're going to make our way slowly onto our hands and knees. Yeah. So I'm going to use a blanket for the knees. I might just come around with some blankets actually, if you guys need some. If you want to use a cushion, that's fine. Some of you don't need anything on the knees, that's okay too. I just like to have the option of a cushion there to pad the shin bones, just helps with my slightly arthritic knees. So if you've got a double mat, you're probably okay. Blanket there. Margaret will get you another one. So just bringing your hands slightly further forward of your shoulders, And bringing your knees together at the centre line. And if you're not comfortable on your knees, I can give you something else to do. We're not going to be here for very long, so don't worry if it's not super comfy. So the hands are out at the top corners of the mat and the knees are together. If you drop your head down and look at your knees, and then your hips are above your knees, and just draw a little bit of weight back. So you're locking out your elbows, pressing into your hands, and then start to take the gaze forward. So we're still not bringing much weight in the hands. You're just bending one elbow down slowly and then pressing back up, going really gently. Yeah, good. And then we're going to move side to side. So the hips move over to one side as you inhale, back to the center as you exhale, and then over to the other side as you inhale, and back to the center as you exhale. So we'll keep that going. You can modify the movement by doing a little bit less. You can also, if your spine is feeling quite fluid today, you could change the movement and make it more of a kind of wiggle or a circle. The side to side is a good place to start, because it just lets us know, how is your back today? How are those muscles? Yeah, and sometimes it's instinctual to kind of ease back towards a kind of child's pose, or if you're feeling quite strong today, you could take the weight forward and just do a little kind of mini push up, just a weight there on your hands. So you can go side to side, forwards and backwards, or move in a circle. Perhaps close your eyes for just a few moments, so that you're more aware of how it feels. Allow slow, deep breaths. And we're going to ease either back to child's pose, or if being on your knees, so you can take your knees out wide now, coming back onto your hands, and maybe you've got a cushion or something under your head. If you don't love child's pose for your knees, just lie forward onto the tummy. Yeah, so for some of us, being on the knees is not comfortable, so you can come all the way down on the belly. Last little bit of this warm up here, going to come into some cat's breath movements. So this time when you come forward, you have your knees under your hips, making a stable kind of tabletop position, and the hands are under the shoulders. If your wrists are tender, you take the weight back into your legs. Yeah? If your hands feel strong, shoulders are above the hips. Lift the tail, lift the heart, have a tiny bend in your elbows, and take the chest forward, start to look up. As you exhale, round the spine, let the head drop down. Do that a few more times. Inhale, lift the head, lift the tail, and then exhale, round the spine. So again, make the movement interesting to you. You can keep it quite linear, or you can maybe move forwards and backwards. You might also find a little instinctual movement with the wisdom of your body. And then from here, we're going to come up to stand. So you can centralize your weight. You can bring one leg forward, just being always away. You can come up any way you like. If you've got downward dog, you can come through downward dog and walk your hands to your feet. Or you can just take your time and taking care with your center of gravity to come up to stand. Yeah, and if you're loving downward dog, I know some of us have downward dog in your practice, you can stay there, shake out the head, wag the tail. Yeah, lovely. And we'll make our way to come up to stand. Good. So bringing the feet apart, a little bit wider than your hips. So some of us have a funny idea about where our hips are. So you just bring your hands here and then point your fingers down, and you want to have your feet in line. And then bring the hands to face up. We're going to do a pretty simple movement, just soften the knees. It's quite a simple movement where we exhale, bending the knees. And then as we inhale, we just take the hands up, just as high as feels comfortable. And turn the palms, and as you exhale, bring the hands back down. Yeah, keep that going. Inhale, lift up, maybe straighten the legs, and then as you exhale, bend the knees. Yeah, and see if the hips can go back rather than the knees coming forward. Yeah, inhale, lift up. Lovely. Exhale, come down. Good. And then this time, as you inhale, lift the arms up just wherever's comfortable. Maybe lift your heels and we'll wobble. Yeah, good. And then lower back down. Really nice. Well done. So keeping the feet anchored, just taking care of yourself now. Just shift the weight from foot to foot and find a little twist. And if this doesn't work for you, if you know that your lower back needs to stay more aligned, then just move the arms. Yeah. If you know that you can move from the hips, your hands might just hit your back. And this is one of those things that it always says good for the kidneys, to give you a little kind of thump on the back. It's supposed to be good for getting the blood flow there to the adrenal glands. So slowing the movement down, and then come to stillness where perhaps you can still feel there's a bit of resonance from the movement. And we're going to come to fingertip tap now at the center of the chest. It can be really slow. You can close your eyes if you like. And again, I'm giving you complicated things to occupy your brain on the sensations of your body. So I'm going to add on to this movement. Again, eyes can be kind of downcast or closed. And we're just going to take the weight from one foot and lift the other foot up, keeping the fingertip tap. And then shifting to the other side and lifting the other foot up. Yeah, that's it, yeah. So a bit like that, patting your head, rubbing your tummy. We're engaging the brain on different things. And what that does is creates pathways in the brain. Neurogenesis, your brain grows. Keeps growing, like learning a new skill. Yeah, well done. Yeah, good. So if you wobble, the wall will catch you, the floor will catch you. If you go to that wobble and then you recover, that's more learning, that's more pathways in the brain. Yeah, well done everyone. Good. Okay, so we'll come to bring one foot forward and one foot back. And start with the right foot forward. I'm going to mirror you guys. Yeah, so actually I'll face this way so you can see. So the feet are about, so you on the floor here, there's these planks are quite helpful. And yeah, everyone's got quite narrow hips in here today. So that's about where you want, like hip width distance. If you can have your heels in one line if you like, it makes it more challenging. So completely up to you. You can always challenge yourself. And then first of all, without the hands on the hips, lean into that front foot and lift the arms up again. And then lean into the back foot and we'll take the hands back again. Yeah, good. So keep the feet flat just for the first round. Lean forward, lift, and then exhale, come back. Yeah, now we're going to lift the back heel. So inhale, lift up, push onto the ball of the foot, and then exhale, come back, lift the front toes. Yeah, continue. Inhale, rise. Exhale, back. Yeah, good. We will wobble because you've got the squishy mat, which is so good, but it's also way more difficult to balance. And feel free to come off onto the floor if you like. Yeah, yeah. So it's the same if you're practicing at home. If you've got a really nice, luxurious, soft carpet, very difficult to balance on. Extra challenge. Yeah, good. So now take the hands onto the hips and notice as you shift the weight into the front foot how your hip moves. And then as you bring the weight into the back foot, how your hip moves. They'll go from side to side. That's natural. Yeah. Now, can you bend your knees so that as you move forward, your hips don't go from side to side? Yeah. Yeah. So we're just getting those chain of muscles up the legs to start to fire up. Walking, we do it automatically. When we've got shoes on and we're thinking about where we're going, or worrying about where we've been, we're not, the muscles aren't always paying attention. So let's take a slightly wider stride now, because you've all got this, and have your back foot turned out on an angle and your front foot facing forward. So our warrior posture. So just turn those toes that way a bit, left toes that way a bit, so more towards me. Yeah, that's it, lovely. And then lift your arms up. So if you're feeling tired, rest your arms. Yeah, this is quite strong. We're going to hold this. If you feel strong, take the 3 fingers to interlace and then cross the thumbs. So Kali Mudra, just the index finger points. Yeah. And then you reach up. Lean forward on a diagonal and push into that back foot. Good. And then just bend your elbows slightly so you're not tensing your shoulders. Lovely. So from here, push into that back foot. Fire up the back glutes. So squeeze the bottom and then extend forward. Yeah, that's it. Now take slow, steady breaths here, maybe using your ujjayi. We're going to keep the legs just as they are. We're just going to take the arms apart and lift the chest. Yes. And then straighten the front leg, take the hands back behind you. Good. Bring the hands together at the heart. Now, scissor the legs together. Feel as if you're pulling your feet together, like you're pulling the mat together. And then see if you can lift onto the front heel. Yes. And then see if you can lift onto the back toes. Good. So from here, we're going to come into a balance. You'll want to look forward rather than looking at me. We're going to bring, I'll show you first of all, we're going to lift the back leg up and then hold on to that knee. So just like we did on the floor, lean in to lift the back leg up and hold on to the knee. Yeah, tell yourself you can. That's it. Lovely. Bring the right arm out to the side. Every wobble is a learning pathway. Doing brilliantly. That's great, Margaret. Well done. It's all a practice. Maybe take the leg out to the side. Yes. If you've got the wall, feel free to hold on. It's not cheating. Kate's like, that would be cheating. I'm not doing it. We come back to the centre. Are we breathing? Can we extend the leg forward? Lift the arms up. Maybe lift the back heel. Yeah, that's it. Yes, good. And then release. Amazing. Good. So we've built that up. You notice we've built and built and built and built and built. And then it's quite strong, right? It's quite strong. So have a little shake out. Maybe circle the ankles. Remember, you can always do less. You can always do less. Left foot forward, right foot back. So we want to do exactly the same alignment and the same movements we did, because we want to notice how this feels different. Yeah, there's a story. There's always a story. A stubbed toe, you know, a sore hip, and we're interested in that story because we're interested in rewriting it. Yeah, so getting the muscles firing. So first of all, again, as wide a stride as you like, both feet parallel, space at least of a plank of wood in between, so you can shift easily. And then keep both feet grounded. Inhale, shift into the front foot, lift your arms up. Take the weight into the back foot and the hands come down. Yeah, continue. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, weight comes back. Yeah, good. Now we lift forward, lifting the back heel. And then as we come back, we lift the front toes. Yeah. Inhale. So does it feel different on this side? That's what I'm interested in. Exhale. Nice. And then hands on the hips, keep the feet grounded again, and notice as you come forward, so you straighten out the legs, and you shift the weight forward, and you straighten out the leg, shift the weight back. So exaggerating that movement. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys watch the dancing program, the very famous dancing program, and they always talk about the hip action and how it comes from having the straight legs. Yeah, so that's sort of what we're interested in here. It's like if we lock out the legs, the hips move. Yeah, and that's interesting for sensation. And then if you bend the knees, take the weight forward and backward, can you keep the pelvis level? Yeah. I'm not looking for any answers to these questions. I'm just throwing it out there. But the curiosity, that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the curiosity. The more time we spend in our body, the better, really, because then the better we understand ourselves, then we know what we need. We know when we need rest, we know when we need to run and move. So coming into that warrior now, taking the feet further forwards and backwards, if that works for you. The left foot faces forward, so when you bend this knee, the thigh bone and the knee are all in the same line. Back foot turns out a little bit because we're going to keep that leg straight. And then again, if you're tired, rest your arms. You can rest your hands. If you've got the energy, take the Kali Mudra, crossing the thumbs. So Kali rides around on a tiger with all the weapons of consciousness. So when we make this mudra, there's power there. Yeah, there's like pong pong power. So straighten the back leg and then reach your arms forward. And if you're tensing your shoulders, bend your elbows for a breath and then reach forward again. So feel this Kali power. Push back into the heel, reach forward. Good. Yes. Or is it a lion? Maybe it's a lion. She might ride on a lion. Anyway. So strong, 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 strong. Squeeze the right glutes, push into the right heel as if that is propelling you forward. And then keep the legs there and just lift the arms, let them float. Yes, lovely. Coming into our balance. So straighten the front leg, bring the hands to the heart. Feel as if you're pulling your feet together. And again, this feels so different on the other side for me. It's like a whole different body. And then come into the balance. So look forward, tell yourself you love balancing, you're really good at it. And then lift the knee to the chest, hold on to it. You can tap down, you can hold the furniture, hold the leg, arm out to the side. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah, that's it, Margaret. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Tapping down is fine. Lovely. Maybe take that right knee out to the side, Eleanor, if you can. Flex the foot, flex the toes. Yes. Lovely. And then bring it back to the centre. Well done. So lean from foot to foot. Either give it a shake out or just slow down. Wonderful. So we're going to do one more standing thing and then we're coming down onto the floor. Yeah. So we're going to come to tree pose and we're going to do a little bit of hip movement as well. Yeah. So it's not cheating to hold the wall. Like you can move to the wall. There's plenty of space in here. If you feel like you want to kind of get it, then you can use the wall because then once you've got it, you can always move away from the wall. Yeah. So we're going to come onto the left foot again. We're just going to make some circles around. So you can keep the right foot on the floor to start with and just move the knee from side to side. So feel the movement in the hip. Yeah, that's it. And then we're going to take your arms out to the side again if your shoulders are okay. Yeah, and we're going to do that thing we did before where one arm turns back and one arm turns forward and then you switch sides. Yes, lovely. Like you're wringing out a towel. Yeah, good. And then rest the arms, take the knee in front and then behind. And you can tap it down. Yeah, so you can tap the foot in front, bring it behind, tap the foot behind. That's it, lovely. So I'm going to build on that movement. So as you bring it behind, lean a little bit of weight back into that back foot, come onto the front toe. Yeah. And then lean in. And this time, lift your knee, lift your hands. So we use this movement to gather the energy. Bend the standing knee and see if you can tap the foot down. Yeah, lovely. And then lift back up. Yeah. Good, wonderful. So you're all on the right leg, wonderful, good. So just shake out the other leg. I wasn't mirroring you very well. It really doesn't matter as long as we do, yeah, kick stuff over. It really doesn't matter as long as we do both legs. Yeah, good. So other side. So again, it starts with just that kind of movement. Yeah. So just make sure you're on the other leg, left or right, we don't care. That movement. And how does it feel? How does it feel? If you already did that leg, you can do the other leg. And then we're gonna take the leg in front and behind. And again, you can keep it tapping, or you can hover if you feel a bit more confident. Yeah, that's it. Lovely. And then when you bring it behind, take a little bit of weight behind that leg. Shift the weight back. Maybe lift onto the toe. And then shift the weight forward. Lift onto the heel. Yeah, good. And then this time as you take it round, lift up. See if you can get the knee as high as your hip. Tell yourself you can. Flex the foot, yes. And then bend the standing knee. Let's take our arms up. Breathe. Tap the heel. Whoa. Lift it back up again. And release, yes. Good. 10 out of 10. Amazing. We're gonna rest. So come to the back of the mat. And if you like the opportunity, we don't do a huge amount of weight bearing upper body strength in this class, but I know some of you have that. I know some of you come to other classes and you actually have, downward dog and plank position and stuff. So if you want to do that, you can come forward and come into downward dog, come into plank pose, or we can come down and rest. Yeah. So back of the mat, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, come down. We're going to come into a halfway lift. So the fingertips are on the legs. You're going to see if you can lift your chest forward and straighten out your legs. Draw the chin in and lift up through these tummy muscles. And then as you're ready, bend the knees and fold down. And again, some of us will come straight away onto the belly, relaxing, walking the hands forward. You might come onto your knees, stretch out onto your tummy. If you've got downward dog in your practice or you want to give it a go, you can come forward onto the hands, pedaling out the legs. We've got a little bit of time. And then you could come to plank pose, holding your body up, shoulders over the wrists. Yeah, that's perfect, Robert. So the option with the knee down, that's perfect. Yeah, good. So those of you in plank can maybe lift one leg off the floor, see how that goes. Yeah, lower it back down. And then the other leg. Kate's like, no, thank you. And lower down. Yeah, good. Lovely. So Eleanor coming forward now, lowering slowly onto the tummy, all the way down. Well done. And we'll bring the hands one on top of the other, turning your head or resting your forehead. Relax everything. Yeah, yes, yeah. Margaret just said she's got cramp in her left foot. It's really
right leg.
in your right leg. It's really normal when we do balancing to kind of get that sensation. So stay with it. There might be some warmth, might be some tingling or some pulsing.
This is my damaged leg.
Yeah. So old niggles, old injuries will definitely come up. Kate, would you like an extra mat?
No, I'm
feeling the cold. Yeah,
it's just my feet get cold.
Okay, yes,
Yeah,
I know,
thank
me
you.
too. So we're going to move into low sphinx from here and really taking care again of our upper back. So this can be quite strong, and if there's any pinching, you're going to move away from it. The elbows are forward of the shoulders. We're going to see if we can wiggle the hips back. And then just use a little bit of action in your legs. So the tops of the feet press down. Can you engage your thighs so your kneecaps lift off the floor? Yeah, and then relax down. So those of you feeling very comfortable in Sphinx, walk the elbows in a little bit. If there's any sharp sensation or pinching in the spine, take them forward again. Turn the palms down, press the hands forward, and then start to lift the chest. So the proud Sphinx. The gods of Egypt. They'd say that the cats have never forgotten this, have they? That they're gods. Everyone will worship me. So let's embody that kind of spirit of calm, regal prowess. And slowly keep the position, but start to relax the muscles so that your skeleton holds the shape. You can keep your head in the center, or perhaps you let your head drop forward. Relax the back of your neck. Now when you let the muscles relax, can you come back to that awareness of the way you're breathing? And then can you let your exhale relax everywhere else? Good. So from here, we're just going to come into a little half bow preparation. Bring the left forearm across the front of the mat. You're going to take your right arm down by your side. Take a moment just to rest your forehead on your arm. Relax. And some of you will stay here. Some of you will bend your right knee and maybe start to lift up a little bit and reach the right hand back. So it can be quite strong if you're flexing the foot. Some of you might be able to hold the foot. We're not super warm, so don't worry if you can't hold the foot. If you can hold the foot, just slowly relax back down and see if you can relax your thigh. And if you're not holding the foot, make it a bit more active. Reach the hand back and flex the toes. Yeah, good. Take another slow breath. Is there any restriction? Is there any way you can relax a bit more as you exhale? And then gently release. We're going to switch sides, moving very slowly. Right forearm comes across, Left arm comes alongside, rest your head on the ground, let go. And then bending the knee, and this side again you might catch and then relax back down. If you don't catch, it doesn't matter, we can work on flexing the foot, reaching the arm back. Again, you can keep your head resting, finding, as I said before, that balance of effort and ease. We can make it challenging, or we can allow it to be more relaxing. And from here, we're going to come into the last little bit of active posture before we come into restorative and the nidra, the relaxation. So this is for your posture, and it's for the back chain of muscles. Yeah? And again, you can dial this up and use 100% of your effort, or you can keep it 30-40%. There's a spectrum. Yeah? Sometimes the sustainability in the practice is actually holding it rather than going so far that you have to come out. And we're going to just work on the back chain of muscles, starting with the feet. Your arms are by your side, palms facing up, chin tucks in. We're going to see if we can press the feet down and lift the head up. But can you let your arms be really heavy? So it will feel really weird and a bit uncomfortable for the shoulders. But can you press the feet down, the knees lift, the thighs engage, and then lift the pelvic floor and squeeze the glutes, but keep your arms heavy. It's very challenging. Draw the chin in, lengthen the crown of the head forward by pressing your feet down. Now rest for a moment, maybe rest the forehead, bend the knees, perhaps a little sway through the hips. And then release back down again, and this time we're going to use the arms. So the same thing, the tail presses down, the thighs lift the knees, you can squeeze the glutes, lift the pelvic floor, and now lift the arms up. Yeah, good. And again, if you want a slightly more grounded version of this, bring your hands onto the floor and then press the shoulder blades together. So the idea is just to hold it here for another couple of breaths. Doesn't have to be very high. If you want more, take the last breath or two with the feet lifting as well. And maybe move your wrists and your ankles. Yeah, lovely. So again, this is the most dynamic bit of our class. So lift and hold and breathe. And then let go. Yeah. So either a little recovery position, you might take one knee and elbow out to the side. If you do like child's pose, you could ease on back, bringing the knees out wide. And again, slowly coming back. And you can use all your cushions and pillows for your child's pose if you like. You can bring some cushions under the head. And some of us not loving child's pose, we don't have to come into it. So the next 10 minutes of our practice, we're going to set up for restorative posture. Restorative yoga is definitely wonderful at this time of year when we need to restore like nature. We need to go to ground a little bit. So I'm going to show you how to set this up, and then we're going to be in it for a little while. So if it takes, and I'm going to give you a little bit of meditation, then I'm going to be quiet. Yeah, so hopefully you'll be in that place where you're sort of nearly asleep, not quite, yeah? And then we'll come from there into another restorative posture and then into the nidra, yeah? So we're going gradually down into complete rest. So I'm gonna, again, I'll show you, and then there are lots of options, modifications. So we're gonna build a little platform, and if you want it quite low down, if you're at home, you'll be improvising with what you've got. If you want it quite low down, you've just got this like that and that like that. If you want it a little bit higher, that can be on its end, like that, and that can be here. Hang on, no, that doesn't work. That way, and then that way. Yeah, I'm not very good at building. So this will make an incline quite low to the ground, and if you want it lower, again, you can take it down a bit. If you want that at the end of your mat, And then have your blanket handy, and I'll come around. You should have a sandbag as well. I'll come around with some extra pillows, eye pillows, whatever you need. So you want to have your bottom on a folded blanket. So if you've got your purple blanket, you might like to have that one because it's quite thick. So this one. You can have it double, or you can open it out a little bit. So that's there. And again, have two. If your spine's a bit sensitive, you've only got one mat, you're on a hard floor, have two. And then your two cushions are either side for your hands, your arms, and then you might also want something around the back of the head or the neck. So the fiddling about is worth it because you want to feel like when you're there, like, oh, everything is great, I feel totally happy. So the choices with the legs, once you've got the incline with your body, and again, if you come down there and you're like, oh, if only I had a pillow through my head, I will bring it to you, yeah, so don't worry. Feet can be grounded, arms here. If this is a bit much for your shoulders, I'm going to come around and elevate these, yeah, so they're up there. Some people prefer to have the hands up and around. The legs can be straight out, or the soles of the feet can be together, and that's where you'll use, again, something else to cushion. And if you have the soles of your feet together, it's because your hips are happy, and then the sandbag is here, like that. So I'll come around with extra everything, so you can choose how you want to be. And if you don't love this incline, if you come down and you're like, don't love this, then you can always do something else. And if you do run cold, the purple blanket over your mats is quite warm. For the hips, and if you like, yeah, just so because we're here for a little while, it is quite nice to support your hips. So if you've got your knees out to the side, and if those are too hard, I can put your blanket. Yeah, so are you managing to support the hips and the arms at the same thing? So Margaret, shall I give you a hand? Too low or too high?
Too high.
Okay, let's take it down a bit. There, let's try that. Still too high, or is that? Should something for your head?
Yeah.
So just lift your head up for a moment. How's that? Gets a couple more blocks as well for the hips. So all of the fiddling about should be totally worth it. Turn that light off as well. So I'm just going to put those there for the hands, if that works. I've got so your elbow does look comfortable there. So again, if I put stuff there and you're like, I don't really need that, thank you, Bryony, you can just take it away. Better to have an excess, an abundance. Place that one there. The whole, to my mind, the restorative yoga experience, we want to feel like we're held. We want to feel as if the body is cared for, gravity is releasing. So just give me a little wave if you feel like you'd quite like an extra blanket, sandbag, eye pillow, something over. Yes, my favourite thing. thing, putting blankets over people. So anybody else?
Another pillow.
Another pillow that side. Kate?
Yeah.
Blanket?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I've got block pillow.
That's so I'll get you another block, Margaret. That should work, shouldn't it? And then we've got that there. And if you're at home, practicing at home, hopefully you've found a comfortable position. If you're not quite sure, I'll show you again in just a moment. Oh, this is the warm spot, isn't it? Note to self, go there if I come into class here. Sue, do you need anything extra? No, you're okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. There's an extra one there as well. And the whole time that we are here, if you're a couple of minutes in, sometimes you're a couple of minutes in and you think, oh, actually I'd rather have my legs stretched out, or perhaps just a little 2% more comfortable if I'm shifted one side and then the other. So if you do need to move, perhaps just keep the breath nice and steady as you move, so you don't disturb the heaviness, the peace that you've created. You're just allowing that extra last little bit of ease. And allowing the eyes to rest closed now. It's really normal once you're allowing yourself to be still for your mind to start moving. That's what the mind does. I'm interested in whether you can bring back your seed intention, and perhaps like a mantra, you can bring that to repeat slowly in your mind, just to keep you connected, keep your focus. And sometimes I can imagine, it's pretty easy at the moment, a beautiful blue sky, and your thoughts like clouds, little wispy clouds, not big scary clouds, nice light white fluffy clouds. The thoughts come across the sky, and you can just, as you exhale like the wind, notice that you're thinking, notice that the thought is there, and then watch it float away as you come back to that quiet state of awareness. Allowing yourself to rest. you've got time for you to stay exactly as you are. If you found this place of rest, then you don't need to move. But if you feel like you'd like to come down and lie down flat, then you can make that transition now. So again, completely up to you. Move slowly, keep that sense of steadiness. And again, you don't have to move if you feel very, very relaxed. If you prefer to come to more of a, don't worry, pick stuff over, more of a reclining position, you can feel free. And again, if you found that you're running a little bit cold, or perhaps you'd like an eye pillow, so do you want the bolster at the back of the knees? How does that work? There's an eye pillow there if you want it. So again, the eye pillow is completely optional. I'm a little obsessed with them all being very clean because I didn't use them for years in stinky old yoga studios. So I completely understand if you don't want something on your face, that's fine. Margaret, can I get you another cushion? Are you all right there? Do you want the bolster at the back of the knees, or are you okay like that? No, you're all right. The awareness once again on the whole body now, completely passive. Whole body heavy on the ground, relaxed and comfortable. And the only movement now is the rise and fall of the breath. You're relaxing your eyelids, your eyes, your cheek, your jaw, your mouth and your tongue. You're relaxing your hands, your fingers and your feet and your toes. You're aware of the rise and fall of the breath. You allow the whole body to sink down now. Receiving all the benefits of your practice now in the heaviness and the stillness. The whole body letting go. Beginning to deepen the breath. You don't have to move, just notice perhaps the sensation of stillness that you've created. As you deepen the breath, you're bringing back that prana, that energy, and moving in a way that feels comfortable for you. So that might be a little wiggle of the toes, you might have a stretch, and there's no hurry here. You can roll onto your side for a few moments when you feel ready, no rush. Come to close our practice with a comfortable seat. So once again, I'm using a block and a blanket to sit comfortably so I feel shoulders are above the hips. No rush, just super tired. I also teach relaxation on Wednesdays, by the way, just so you know. So hands come together. Let's rub the hands together. Start slowly and then build up so you've got a bit of friction there, a bit of heat. And then place that warmth just over your brow, a little massage around the cheek sockets. You can open your eyes gradually, slowly. Just hit the hands together, perhaps just looking around the room, naming 3, 4 or 5 things that you can see. Bringing our senses back. Yeah, good. And then as the thumb comes to the heart, draw the gaze inwards once again, repeating that seed intention, your I am or your I have. In this way, we can take our yoga practice off the mat and into the rest of your day, hopefully into the rest of your week. Repeating it 3 more times. And then keeping one hand on the heart, just bringing the other hand to touch the earth as we give thanks to Mother Nature for another day. Thank you, everybody. Namaste. Thank you. Thanks so much. And if you're watching at home, I'm so grateful that you tuned in. Thank you very much. And yes, if you were like reluctant to come out of the relaxation, Wednesday lunchtimes, we don't get off the floor. It's like a little bit of this, a lot of that, with a yoga nidra. So that's like 25-minute constructive rest. So all included in memberships and stuff. Thank you very much. Take your time. A small dog will come in now, running around, wagging her tail. She must have some friends out there because she's